guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast. Have a great episode right after this. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. Welcome. We are happy to have one of our most favorite co-hosts today, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast. He is a 3-time nominee for the Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APVA, and he is from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He has been a presenter at the Afro's Audio Podcast Festival discussing Pan-Africanism, and he will be an ambassador and presenter at the 2024 Afro's Audio Podcast Festival. Hey, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Good. Thank you.
Hey, by the way, just before we have International Podcasting Day coming up next week on Monday, September
Yes,
30th. All right. Make sure you celebrate it.
definitely. You have some exciting things going on with you for that, right? You'll be doing some international travels, right?
Yes, I'll be doing some international travel. I should be at Baraza Media Lab hanging out with African podcasters, actually Kenyan podcasters. And hopefully we shall get to have some great conversations there and collaborations as well.
Awesome. So safe travels to you on your way to the motherland. Right on. So yeah, excited to have a great episode for you guys. We appreciate you tuning into the content. Want to get into talking about making a difference in your community, and also want to talk about making a difference in regards to some information about homelessness and food insecurity, and how one lady has decided to do something about this in her community. And so we want to definitely bring that story to you and share about that. So, this episode is for you if you definitely are interested in making an impact in your community and care about how you can give back in many different ways. So, like we mentioned, we have a special guest, and our guest has decided to make a difference in her community, and she's going to share what her agency that she has created to help countless women and children in various stages of need. May it be a family who has recently found themselves unhoused, or a person re-entering society after incarceration. There are definitely avenues and opportunities with the agency that our guest has. So definitely excited to bring you that information. Definitely, before we get into that, we want to share some information, Sambaza.
Yeah, actually, Jen, last night after we talked, I went in and looked at some stuff like definitions of food insecurity. Now, and some statistics as well. So, with food insecurity, the USDA defines food insecurity as the lack of consistent access to enough food for an active, healthy life. What are food deserts? These are areas where residents have limited access to affordable and nutritious food, often due to the absence of grocery stores within a convenient traveling distance. Me living here, I think I've seen that happen, slightly, even though depending on where you shop, you'll see it. I also went to some statistics about food insecurity in the US, and it says that according to the Feeding America, more than 34 million people, including 9 million children, are faced with food insecurity in 2022. That's 2022.
Mhm.
Food deserts. USDA reports that approximately 19 million people in the US live in low income areas more than a mile from a supermarket. These areas are disproportionate. Okay, these areas disproportionately
Mm,
affect minority and low income families. And then I went on ahead to look at some things about the housing and urban development. So the Department of Housing and Urban Development (HUD or HUD) counted 653,104 homeless Americans in its annual point in time report, which measures homelessness across the U.S.
mm,
on a single night each winter. There, this is a 12.1 increase for the same report in 2022. And these are USA. Give us those facts. Now, New York,
mm.
Vermont, and Oregon had the highest per capita rates of homelessness in 2023. Those are some troubling results.
It is, and definitely want to touch on the food deserts. You know, we want to give that definition because a lot of people may not be familiar with that term, but it's definitely hits home in my city, St. Louis, and I think basically every probably metropolitan city may be familiar with that. I know we talked about it a little bit when we had Solana Patterson Ramos on, and that's kind of the work that she does in her city. Shout out to her, who was a guest recently on the show. But you have so many neighborhoods, like in my city, for example, where the closest place to buy some food is like the liquor store. There's not like a traditional supermarket, grocery store where you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables, and you literally have to result to whatever's in this liquor store to eat. And what's in there? A pack of noodles, you know what I'm saying? Some salty deli meat, if that, so it's a big problem for sure. So yeah, just want to touch on that.
Uh, yeah, I noticed that when I was shopping one time. When you go to these areas where predominantly black and predominantly white, we would
Hmm.
buy like juice, same kind, but the one we would buy in our local area would be 100% pure juice. The other one was like an 85%, not even 85, 50%.
And
And this was just
probably
two different
fructose
locations.
corn
Yeah,
syrup, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's not by accident that it's like this. It's definitely intentional, that they don't want, to put the additional grocery stores and things like that in the communities. But, we can get into a whole tangent on that. But just wanted to share, those numbers because it is significant to demonstrate how severe this problem is. So for someone to, in light of this kind of data, wanting to do something about it, I think that's super dope and definitely glad to hear more about it.
That's why I'm excited for the guest that we have today. She is really ready to go, and I want to hear more about what she has to offer and what she has to say regarding this topic.
For
Very,
sure.
very important topic.
For sure. And so let's go ahead and introduce our guest. So excited to introduce our guest. She is an entrepreneur, influencer, author, and fellow podcaster who's making waves in New York City. She is passionate. She is a passionate advocate for women and youth in her community, and she is dedicated to making a real difference through her work and influence. So today we are grateful to have her share a part of her inspiring story, the impact that she's making, and how she plans to use her platform. So, with that, we welcome Miss Trillion.
Yay! Hello.
Okay, you're
Thank you
welcome.
so much for
Welcome.
having me.
Yes, welcome.
I love how we're all in red. It's like we didn't
Yes.
plan
Yeah,
this. I'm just letting
almost.
everyone know.
Very organic it was.
Mhm.
All right. Now, I am really interested in a couple of things. I'm interested in about yourself, and then you got some interesting names, Trillion and Amadou. Yeah. So just tell us a bit about yourself.
So I don't know. I like to think of myself as Barbie. Like maybe you can't relate Sambaza, but Jen, like Barbie can do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the president, she's a doctor, she's a lawyer, she's a homemaker, she is an engineer, she's a pilot. I just feel like I'm the kind of woman who can do anything that I set my mind to. And that's kind of the zone that I'm in.
I love that.
In short, that's like the short.
Yeah, that's
What
so.
about the long version?
The long version,
Yeah, we
after,
got time. We got time. We got time. We got time.
I don't know if I have time. I'm having some light issues. God is good. He's letting it work so far. So,
Mhm.
For
All
sure.
right. So now, when we get into the topic of the day, since we've talked about who you are and what inspired you to start the organization Bright Futures Family Services.
so I got into social services. Well, let me circle back a little. So I was praying for a purpose in life a few years ago. I always had a relationship with God, but like through my young 20s and early 30s, I felt kind of lost. So I had found myself in a space where I really wanted to have a relationship with him again. I used to talk to him all the time. He used to respond, call me crazy. So I was in this thing where, please, God, show me a purpose. And then I started, getting into social services. And the journey has been a few years long. And I'm like, let me learn as much as I can, network as much as I can, so that I can figure out what are the holes in the system. Because I've been
Mm,
homeless and I've also lived in a beachfront condo. So I know both sides of the coin. And, I figure I'm going to get paid for now to be an employee and to learn how to have my own agency. So this year is when I decided, you know what? It's now or never. I'm ready. I'm tired. And I know how to make a difference. People trust me. And I'm very easy to work with, which wasn't always the case. I don't think like in my early 20s, I was the kind of girl you could say, oh, yeah, I love her. She's great. But I'm that person now
mm.
at the right time. So, long story short, I was just praying for purpose and social work came into my path. And I'm nervous because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of
It is.
pressure,
It
but
is.
it's necessary. You saw the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Definitely.
who else can advocate for someone who is hungry other than someone who has been in that position? Who can advocate for someone who
Yes.
doesn't have a place to live, like someone who also hadn't had a place to live before?
I love that you shared that, and I know you've shared that with me that you have been down bad. You know what I mean? And I love that about your story, and it just makes it more authentic because, like you said, you've been there. And a lot of people can't say that.
Right. And what inspired me too was being around all of these educated people
Hmm.
who have master's degrees. Look, the lighting issue, the devil is at work. They have master's degrees, they have
Yeah.
PhDs, and they're not that smart. And they're
Hmm.
not really helping the community how I would. Let me see if I can change the brightness. I think this is as good as it's gonna get, but you can see me pretty good, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
The devil is trying to stop my message, and that's another thing. Like, when you believe in a higher power, you're gonna be tested.
Hmm.
I i'm ready. Really light, stop playing with me. At the end of the day, I'm a New Yorker. Like, I'm gangster. But I'm surrounded by all of these people who, in my opinion, are not equipped to have the job that they have. They think because they read a lot of books and they have submitted a lot of essays that makes them qualified. But think about it like this. If you were a pulmonologist, you could prescribe me an asthma pump. But if you're a pulmonologist with asthma, how much more can you relate to me when I'm telling you, when I'm wheezing, I'm in pain, like I
Hmm.
can't breathe? That's just like a small example. So I found a lot of success with the community that I serve. A lot of people trust me,
Hmm.
and that just means everything to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sambaza.
Yeah. I'm curious about the start of the Bright Futures. Um, when you started it, how did you get the program in place? This is when when you start, gathering people? Was it an easy feat, registering the business, starting from an idea? You know, how did it work?
Right. So I'm gonna speak for me. I think everyone will have something different to say. Uh, I knew I needed a partner. I knew I needed a partner. I had tried to do this while I was in a relationship, and I think romance and business sometimes don't mix. I found a great partner, a woman. We're not dating. We just want to, make the world a better place as much as we can. But all of the filing was pretty easy. This isn't my first business. I started my first business actually when I was in a shelter, and they were telling me that there were rules, and one of the rules was you needed a work letter to stay out at a certain time. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I know this is a shelter and I need somewhere to sleep, but I'm a grown ass woman. This is like weird. So I
Mhm.
started my first business in a shelter. I was giving them work letters from my company, and eventually I was able to get out of that situation. And I mean, they never knew. Maybe they know now, but no one ever knew. They
Mhm.
really thought this was like I was hired. Like, no, I started this myself. So because I
Okay.
had that prior experience, I did it through LegalZoom. It was
Okay.
fairly easy.
Mm.
There are other ways I could have done it. Like you can go on government websites like our irs.gov, for example, to get an EIN. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't know that. I don't know if you can hear my son, but he's over there.
Oh.
A lot of people don't know that, but EINs are free. LegalZoom will charge, and other people will charge, but it is free. So it was just easy because I had prior experience. I think the hardest part now is writing a letter, aka a grant, and being like, "Hey, by the way, I need $200 million to make a difference." So that's more of the issue. Filing the paperwork, I can do it 100 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which- Okay.
So now, when we were talking a bit earlier here, we had something regarding the statistics that we shared about food security in the USA and the food deserts. How does the food security or insecurity manifest in your community, and how do you see it affecting families and children as a whole?
So I wish that I have collected more data, but I
Mhm.
will say, based on my experiences with my clients, more than half of them have expressed to me that they were hungry.
Mhm.
And part of Bright Futures Family Services is we have a chef and we have a cafeteria like setting where 3 meals a day are provided. Now, this is something that um I know you have all seen the immigration, migrants, asylum seekers kind of taking over NYC. The
Okay.
company that runs that organization is supplying food for these
Okay.
people, and tons of Americans are going hungry. So me and my business partner Carla were like, we could feed these people. We'll get a chef. It's not like it's hard. Like, come on. If anything, like, if I have, I mean, I don't want to, I could cook, but I'm not trying to cook. But we're gonna have somebody cooking because look, if we could feed people that aren't from here, and look, I'm for everyone eating. It's just food. To let women, children, men go hungry, it doesn't make sense to me. Stop it.
Mhm.
Food is a
Mhm.
love language. Like, I'm attracted to it. Like, let's not withhold it. So because I just from experience, so many of my clients had expressed being hungry, and it was almost nothing I could do but Google food pantries. I'm like, you know what? Me and Carla were talking. We're like, we're gonna feed these people, and who's gonna tell us
Mhm.
we can't?
Okay.
So,
I got
but
a
all the
question about the
statistics are
food.
true. These people are hungry. They're
Yeah.
hungry. They,
Mhm.
food stamps, they're not getting enough. And if we're being honest, does anyone really know how to budget for monthly grocery shopping?
Mm.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, can you even find a supermarket? Like I said, sometimes the nearest place to buy is like the liquor store. Or no, in New York, you have bodegas and all that. you know.
But yeah, you're right. And that's a great point because there are some places in New York City, even though you hear NYC, they are kind of remote and in the sticks. There are places in
Mhm.
Queens that are super far from the supermarket.
Mm. Mhm.
There are places in Brooklyn. And in the Bronx, especially, the Bronx originally was a farm, like farmland. It's named after actually a farmer from
Okay.
18 something. This is a fact. And now there's more stores, but there are still parts of New York City with brick roads, and they're kind of remote. So yeah, food is not accessible that easily to everyone as you may think.
I'm curious to ask regarding the quality of the food that is being cooked. Do you get donations from, or do you go to a particular place that you purchase the food from? Like gluten free? Are we talking about just regular food? Because there's when you're hungry to eat, anything goes in your stomach will feed you for the night. You
Hmm.
understand? And then there's whereby I'm gonna give you food, but I'm gonna give you some good food that will nourish you and not just pass you along to see the next day and kind of do that. Uh, That's why I'm curious. What kind of food are you getting for them? Is it special or this is just a standard meals?
So that part of the business is not operational yet. What we're really
Hmm.
hoping to do is work with who the chef is going to be to create a menu and have
Hmm.
some pre-made meals in the beginning. I just
Hmm.
don't want it to be where it's 7 a.m. It's a breakfast time, and the person didn't show up. These are like the hiccups when you are first starting
Mhm.
your business. So I really want to leave that up to the chef, and then it'll be a collaborative effort of something nutritious, tastes good. If basically I wouldn't eat it, it's not getting served. I noticed that a lot of organizations, I'm not going to name names. I really wish I could, but I can't afford to. But I've seen it with my own eyes where they're serving food to humans that they wouldn't even serve their dog.
Mhm.
How and why? And like, how did you sleep at night? That's crazy. Like, you would never eat this. You wouldn't even let your dog, a cat, an animal. I don't even think an animal would sniff it and think, "Let me eat this." I've seen it.
Mhm.
So I don't want to be like that. And it's not hard to feed people good food, and it's not expensive. Rice,
Mhm.
chicken, beans. I mean, we tons of vegetables. I really can't wait to incorporate our own food pantry. I did reach out to somebody. That connection didn't work, but it's perfectly fine. But it will be nice when we get to see, kind of like in Top Chef, when they all run to
Mm.
the kitchen to
Mhm.
grab all the fruits and they have this big pantry. That is
Yes.
that is a goal, because why not?
Mhm.
The problem is here, right? I'm very solution based. The problem is our clients are coming in hungry. They're homeless, they're hungry, they're frustrated, depression, anxiety, undiagnosed mental illness, all of these things, trauma,
Yes.
PTSD.
Mhm.
Relax. This is a place where you relax. It's therapeutic for the clients, but it's definitely therapeutic for the staff too. I don't want it to just be, oh, we're taking care of everybody but ourselves.
Right. And so you actually just named a few of the things I was going to ask about some of your programs and initiatives and what your ultimate goal is. So you do yeah.
So in the
I have a
in the oh, go ahead.
good, good.
So in the facility, and I don't have it in front of me, Carla was more working on that, because
Mhm.
what I'm not great at, she's great at. What she's not great at, I'm great at. We make a great team. But she has a whole outline from the beginning of the day to the end of the day of activities for the guests. And it's not like we have 100 people yet. We want to start with about 25 families, single moms and kids, some women who have yet to be reunited with their children. Maybe they're coming out of jail,
Mhm.
and we'll assess the severity of crimes. Not that there's a good crime, but there's also way serious ones, and ones that are like, okay, we can work through this, we can work with it.
Right.
So
For
So
sure.
the reason why I wanted to interject a little bit, but I had an opinion with a story I listened to over at NPR, and this was regarding wastage through the restaurant businesses. Most of the restaurant
Mm.
business, especially these gourmet restaurants, will waste a lot of food when it comes to how they prepare it. Now, a
Mm-hmm.
couple of restaurants have taken up on it and picked up food from those restaurants, like bananas that could be going bad. They will not use them. You know those spotty bananas, but those you could turn them and use them into like make a nice banana bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or something. But you know what I'm talking about. Some things that are not rotten, but they just because they cannot get onto the table with the type of quality that that
Mm-hmm.
particular restaurant is looking for, it ends up in the garbage, and that's what we're
Mhm.
talking about: billions and billions of waste. Have you ever explored that, or what do you think about it in terms of feeding America?
No, I love that. There is a company called Misfit Kitchen, I believe, and they
Mm.
do everything you just said. They will go to grocery stores and markets and maybe some restaurants that are throwing out food that they can't sell, but it's not bad. It's not
Mhm.
expired, it's not rotten. It just there for there's vegetables that grow a funny way and they won't
Mhm.
sell them. So like I don't know if you've ever seen two strawberries attached to each other.
Yes.
Some stores will sell it, but other stores won't. Perfectly good
Okay.
strawberries,
Mm.
but it just doesn't fit the look that they're going for in their stores. So we have not, if I'm being honest, talked about that, but I have heard of it. And I just think it's because we want to focus on having our own pantry, our own kitchen, just our
Mhm.
own stuff, one stop shop. Like if at some point we can do that, maybe collaborate with Misfit Kitchen, reach out to them when we're at that stage, totally. But as of now, we have not considered doing that. But I do love
Okay.
that, and there's other brands doing that
Mhm.
aside
Because
from the Misfit
I
Kitchen.
do have an app I downloaded on the internet. I forgot what it was, but um, it gives you the restaurants around you that whenever there's something, or some stores, whenever they have something that they want to get rid of, the same concept, they'll ask you to go pick it up either for a
Mm-hmm.
discount
Oh.
or at a different price. But you have to be in the app in the area. For my area, it's always donuts. Some look it asks me to go pick up donuts, but I can't have donuts at this point in time. But it does work. So
Mhm.
there's that app that they have for the local people that they can use around
Nice.
for food. Yeah. So that was what I had in mind, and I just wanted to kind of pick on your mindset regarding that type of food. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely made me think, huh, maybe I will speak about that with Carla. It might be something we can do before all of the vegetables and fruits grow in our pantry. But as of now, it's not on the menu. Just right now, it's not on the menu yet.
Maybe next
Okay.
time when you come back, you'll tell us you've added it onto the menu.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know.
And so
Awesome.
your business plans to be a full agency with shelter and offering services. What challenges have you run into and how can the community help?
So far, the only challenges that I feel me and my partner have faced are more like the outside attack. Have you ever been in a space where you're like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay focused. I know I have to make sacrifices. And maybe you're in your car, bam, you get a flat tire. Then you get a ticket. Then it starts raining. Then your phone dies. Like that has been the hardest, the outside noise and the things that are trying to get us to give up and think that it's too hard, because it really hasn't been. It's just a matter of kind of like being patient. You got to wait for a certain document to go through. I have to wait for the government to approve this. So is it hard to wait in that sense? It's been hard to wait. I want it now. I do, but I respect the process because if it's God's timing, not
True.
mine.
True.
Not Carla's. It's God's timing. So
Definitely. Definitely.
So,
Sambaza.
um, my question will be in terms of the homelessness and asking for food. Various kids that are in like they have food pantries in schools, and they tell kids to go pick up the food they want and take home, just like the way they do in the supermarket. And some of the schools here in the Dallas area, Dallas Fort Worth area, I'm speaking about the Dallas Fort Worth area. And then also as adults, there is that shame of having to go and ask for help.
Mhm.
Like you gave us an example, you've been through one extreme to the other extreme, you know. Uh, Being on that side or on both sides, what would you advise? First of all, maybe you can tell us the experience of how you can overcome that or how you
Mm,
feel in your own words when you get to the point where you have to ask for help, because that is one of the biggest thing about asking for help. Then coming to the realization that yeah, there are people who are out there to help you, but then again you have to maintain this living with the Joneses, so with the
Mm-hmm.
kids, and kids are really brutal when it comes to making fun of other kids,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of their welfare. What advice would you give people who are out there that are homeless and suffering and cannot go out there and ask for help in terms of food and all this? uh,
You,
Go ahead and share
mhm,
this.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough because you have to put your pride aside, and you
mhm,
have to realize, and it's not something that's going to come overnight for everyone. It took me years, and even every now and then somebody bothers me, and I have to realize, is there anything about that person's life I want?
mhm,
Because somebody who is a good person inside, somebody who wants to help me, is never going to kick me when I'm down. Somebody that wants to kick me when I'm down is the real loser. Okay, is the real person that who should be embarrassed. And it takes time to realize that, because you like you could have a Lamborghini and you know what people are going to say about you, but you don't have a plane. Excuse me? You know how much a Lamborghini costs? And you're like, I don't have a plane? Then when you get a plane, well, you don't have two planes. What? Like, do you know how much a plane? Like, you people have to realize whoever is talking ish about you is such a loser, will never be happy with themselves, has absolutely nothing to offer society, nothing to offer you, nothing to offer their family, and in 10 years they're not going to be shit. Like, and then but it's so easy for me to say it because
mhm,
I know, but other people who feel that way don't know yet. And it sucks because literally, if I look at you and I'm judging you because of your shirt and your shoes, as if Mark Zuckerberg knows how to dress. Are you kidding me? Like, he's a billionaire. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you have. It's projection. You've
it
people
is.
people in that position who are feeling down on themselves and feel like too prideful to ask for help.
Mhm.
You got to know that anyone who has something bad to say about you is a loser, not you. You're not the loser. You're actually quite brave, and you're a hero for like admitting you needed help. It is hard, but
It
hopefully
is.
whoever's seeing this is going to get there, because honestly, keeping up with the Joneses, did we ever really verify that the Joneses had anything? Realistically, did we realistically see if like half that shit wasn't stolen? Like, who do you want to be? You want to be like someone who you don't know, or do you want to be like the future version of yourself that you can see? So
Okay.
it takes a while to get there, and I really wish people would get there quick, because the quicker you get there, the better you'll feel about yourself. But it's a
Mm.
process.
It is. And it's really mindset. You know what I mean? Like you said, it really is mindset. We've talked about this, many shows ago, that mindset that you have, when you're getting up in the morning, how your day is going to go. You know what I mean? If you feel like whatever's going on in your life is going to overcome, then that's how it is. You know what I mean? But you have to kind of be the CEO of your life and, make a, change, where you are right now is not where you're going to be forever. So you
Mm-hmm.
can get out of that. And it may take you going down to the shelter and getting some help. You know what I mean? And it is hard to ask for help. You know, I think everybody has experienced that feeling of like not wanting to ask for help, whether it's, for school or, you was hungry or whatever
Yeah.
it was, you know?
Jen, and right now my hand is out. I ain't got it. You got it. You got it. You got
Look,
it.
I ain't got it.
I ain't got it. I need help. I need help. Yes. Being with me
Yes.
is like being on child support. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. I do want to say one more thing. Sometimes it might help too when you're in a rough spot to be with a non-judgmental friend. Um, many times when I was referring clients to go to food pantries because where I worked had no resources for them, I would offer to go with them. I would
Mhm.
offer to go. I'm like, I'll
Mhm.
go to the food pantry with you and rack up my cart. You
Mhm.
know, like I'll go with you. I'll put on a t-shirt and jeans, and I don't care if somebody I know sees me. And are they gonna give me money for food? No. Are they gonna pay for my Metro card or my gas? They're not gonna do anything. They're not
Mhm.
doing anything to help you. So, but they're criticizing you. They're making you feel lesser than.
Right.
But again, who's really the loser in that scenario? Them. God don't like ugly, and He's never gonna reward that behavior.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what you just said, and like I said, my to me my reasoning for hunger and my perception of hunger has two different worlds. I come from a world where when you talk about hunger, it's uh, that one meal a day. It comes with a purpose,
Mhm.
and it just determines the life. And I think when it comes to the American side, when I look at it over here, yes, there's hunger. When you tell somebody in Kenya or Africa that there's hunger, they look at it at a different perspective in terms of, yeah, you're in a developed country and yet you're living hungry where there's supposed to be food all around. But
Mhm.
guess what? It is true that people are gonna stay hungry. Kids stay hungry. um Kids don't have a house to sleep in, they sleep in a car.
Mhm.
And it surprises you. And I think that, to me, when I look at it, it's like a culture shock when I first come here and see people that are homeless or people that don't have something to eat. Whereas, you know, it's a wild idea. I'll say that. But I'm looking forward to hearing more about your company. And like I said, the next time you come back, we probably will get into more regarding where you are at with the
Mm-hmm.
Bright Futures Family Services.
Yes.
Are you going to only operate in the New York area, or are you going to branch out? Well, considering the structure of New York,
Mm-hmm.
um, when you talk about New York, New York is divided into boroughs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to focus on one particular borough and then maybe move to others, or is it going to just specifically sit on one and stay there?
No, I 100% plan to take this to as many states in the United States as possible
Hmm.
Okay.
because I've never seen anything like it, and I have the experience. And I real like when I tell you God is the CEO, and it's when He wants things. That's just what it is right now. I am leaning towards the Bronx
Okay.
because I grew up in the Bronx for a long time. Even though they've tried to gentrify it, there is still quite a lot of work to be done in the community as far as mental health goes. I think undiagnosed mental health issues are keeping a lot of people stuck, including
Mm.
myself. I take Lexapro for anxiety, absolutely, and I'm in therapy. Yes, ma'am. So the Bronx, it's just the Bronx. I go to sleep and I'm like, the Bronx, the Bronx. Oh, I guess it has to be the Bronx. So maybe the Bronx or Brooklyn. I'm very familiar with both areas, but it really just depends on the facility. We will have an architect that is gonna design kind of the inside and customize it a little, but it just really it's just the Bronx is calling me. Another state that I definitely we're going to go into is New Jersey.
Hmm.
um Florida at some point, not sure really where. Thinking Orlando-ish, just basically where there's a high need for
Definitely.
help. A lot of homelessness, women, children who are, in foster care, and we just want to bring the families together. So we have to do a little bit of research and do the stats with that. I have to get in touch. I do have some connects to these states that I named, so I anticipate it won't be a lot of red tape getting into it. I used to live in Jersey. One of my best friends is a realtor there. She knows everybody. She knows everything I have going on. And then my mom's in Florida. She's a teacher in education.
Oh
Awesome.
man.
So yeah, we definitely want to go where there's a need and try. The premise really is to change how people think of themselves, so that when
Hmm.
they go out into the world, they're easier to deal with, and that person also receives the world better.
Okay.
Because it's about perception. When before I leave my house, I'm like, all right, I'm safe. I'm have a good day. God is good. But not everyone does that. So
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
we're just trying to change as many mindsets as we can,
I
pretty
love
much.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll challenge you one
Awesome.
more.
Huh?
I'll challenge you one more. I'd like you to bring it to Kenya and throw in a little bit here and there.
If you
That might be
come
something you look down the road, right?
if you come with me, we can go to Kenya. I'm 100% open to taking my business or our organization to places in Africa. I feel like because I'm an Amadou, I would start in West, but I'm down for the East. I'm down for the South. I'm down for the North. I
Okay.
feel like I fit in everywhere I go because I really just want to be in proximity to people like the both of you who have a purpose and who have a mission. And if I'm feeling down, worst case scenario, I'm in proximity to people doing great things. So it's got to rub off on me somewhere.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I'd like you to share information of how listeners can connect. Maybe you can get sponsors to your organization and support your initiatives, and to get more information about your work. We're talking about websites, social media connects, links, anything that you have out there. This is your time. Please give us as much as we can so we can get at you.
Thank you. Yes. So, just how you see my name typed is you could find me on Instagram. Excuse me. I'm also on LinkedIn, Alicia Amadou, Twitter, Alicia Amadou, keeping it real simple. Easy, just Google. You'll see my divorce if you Google me, but don't worry about that. That was necessary. But you'll see other great things. What else? My website is brightfuturesfamilyservices.org. We don't have a donation link yet
Okay.
because we're just we're still setting everything up. I just want to make sure that we have everything legally. We, have to get in contact with our lawyer, but everything should be up and running by December. So we're cutting it close. But for now, you can follow me. If I'm being honest, I don't post a lot. I feel like the more successful I'm trying to become, the less I want to be on social media.
Okay.
I just don't want anyone to know. Cause I'm
So
like
who's the
this. I
face
ain't got it.
behind your business?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Or who's the face behind the business?
So
Who's
it's
the
me.
face in front of the business? No, you are the face behind the business. Who's the face in front of the business?
So the community, the people.
Okay.
At some point, the website is going to reflect all of the work that we do in the community. We want to be really open, honest, transparent. Like if I have to post a bank statement of a receipt from for a company car or from something we funded, I'll do it because I've worked for nonprofits before, so I know how they
Hmm.
work. It's a little sneaky.
Hmm.
I don't want to be like that. This isn't for everyone to get a deal, be rich, and we have employees who can barely eat themselves and are eating out of our pantry. Like that's crazy.
Right.
This is we're a stepping stone. This is meant for you to launch, for your future to be bright, the bright future, like the future. Think about your future. I've hosted, what do you like, parent support groups, and part of those groups I would ask people how they felt about certain words, like beautiful, handsome, And a lot of people were uncomfortable being
Mm-hmm.
called nice words. There's a lot of work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone can definitely follow me. I'm on this great journey. I would love to connect with people. We're definitely hiring, not right away, but we've gotten a few resumes, looking to hire soon. Again,
Okay.
December-ish, January is when things will be up and running and people are, can get paid, start their caseloads, help the community, and change people's lives, including their own families. So
Hmm.
Awesome.
it's exciting.
Hmm. I like that.
Yes, so we will definitely have those links posted, and you can connect with Trillian directly or Alicia, and pour into her as she is on a mission. And we definitely want to support her efforts
Yes, thank you so much.
for sure. Okay. Any additional thoughts, Sambaza?
Now, my thought is, I'm thinking when she's gonna take her time and travel to Kenya.
Listen, Sambaza, don't tell me something and not follow through. I'm big on following through. I will go to Kenya. I don't speak
So
any of that.
my mom
Yeah.
had something like that where she had like a sort of like a pre-care where kids would come,
Mhm.
and all would give them the most we could was porridge, just porridge, and that's what they'd have for midday, because at least they would have that, because when they go home there was some of them there was nothing else. They would have a
Yeah.
meal, they wouldn't have a meal in the
Mhm.
evening, or they were not sure of having a meal in the evening. So at least when they got there, they came to learn,
Hmm.
learned a few words, learned to get ready for their primary school education. But at that point, she did also offer, some food, and that was one of the most important things that was ongoing. Unfortunately, yeah, it has to go into the back burner after she passed on. But we're thinking about bringing it back. So that's why when you
Okay.
started talking about it, my ideas started flowing. I was like,
So there
nice.
is a need for that there for sure.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
There
And
is.
and that's beautiful. God bless your mother. She set the way for something that is going to be big. Whoever takes it on. And I would definitely love to, you can contact me and we can cross those bridges when we get there. And I
Yeah.
look, part of listen, you said Kenya. First thing I thought about was dance moves. I want to learn some dance moves, okay?
Yeah. You're always welcome. We have a very good and what did I say? Hospitable place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I love African people. I belong in Africa, if I'm being honest. I'm half Dominican.
Hey,
Dominicans are originally from West Africa, Sierra Leone area, and I feel it in my soul. Like, trust me, we'll connect. Let me figure out why my passport hasn't got here yet, and then we'll talk.
all right,
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
let's do
Awesome.
this.
Yes.
All right, so Jen, take us home.
All right. So we thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you found today's conversation and it has inspired you and enlightened you. If you found today's episode meaningful, please consider sharing it with your friends and family and colleagues. If you got this far in the episode, please subscribe, like, share, and our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating a positive change. Please stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. And we thank you for being a part of the Woke by Accident Sambaza collaboration. Alicia, stick around for our proper goodbye. And then everyone else, take care.
Bye,
See you in 2 weeks.
everyone.
I'll be Jen.
I don't have a flag, so.